Hey guys, Wages World here. Blue Kool-Aid talking to you. And yeah, it's June 8th, 2020. Come at you with a video. We're going to start here with the Schumann, but we've had that big CME I was telling you guys about, but it actually lit up our object too in a pretty massive, in-your-face kind of way. So we're going to take a look at that too. Also, the CME tracker did actually update for that CME. It did not come at us. Okay, I'm going to put that out there straight up, and I've already said that, but I do want to, point that out, that it's not coming at us. We don't have to worry about any of that, but we'll talk about that as we get to it. There's a couple other things here I want to speak about too, but like we always do, we're going to start here on the Schumann, and guys, I'm going to start calling these OG vibrational spikes. Okay. What you're seeing here, guys, is what I would consider a classic-looking spike, okay, in our Schumann. And anybody don't know what this is the vibrational frequency of the Earth. It's between our ionosphere and basically the surface of the Earth, the vibrations inside that, I guess, bubble, I guess you could call it. There's a whole lot more to it than that, too. But the 7.83 Hertz level is right here. That is our constant. That's supposed to be there, all right? But as we've been talking, we now have a second constant that's not going away either. Right around, looks to be about the 13, 14 range. Okay? Also, it does look like that we're starting to get another one and another one, right? Now, look guys, this is a good way to show you guys. You see this right here? That's another way to show you guys that our frequency is rising. And what I mean by that is, if you go over here to this, it's not there, right? So something was different here. But this is becoming more normal than this is. So as we see that continue, this is observational proof that our frequency has risen already. Just the fact that this one, this line here, never goes away anymore. It's always there. It never goes back to blue. Not one time. You're not going to see it like that ever again, probably, in your life. If it does go back, well, whatever. But I do think that our frequency will continue to rise. A whole lot of reasons for that. But, again, a whole lot of other channels talk about the reasoning and theories behind that. There's so much into that it would take a series. You could almost dedicate a whole channel to it. Matter of fact, there are channels dedicated just to that. It is such a big subject and such a lot to talk about there. All right, and I try to just touch on it to give people a basic understanding. But what we're seeing here, guys, is what I call an OG spike. All right, there is no pulsing. It's solid all the way through. Okay, now if you look at this, on the top of it, it looks like it isn't. That's normal, okay, because that's not a pulse. All that means is a data point is vertical in this, right? So it means it just wasn't picking up that Hertz level up here. That's all it was. That's all that means. When I'm talking about spikes, not spikes, but pulses, it goes all the way through. Okay, it stops completely. And, I've shown that multiple times. Matter of fact, you can kind of see it starting to happen here. Okay, on this second spike. You see how this kind of fades off into reds and greens, reds and oranges right there into that white? That means it's starting to pulse a little bit. That frequency is just not there. So, these are pretty much old school spikes is what I call them, right? OG spikes, that kind of thing. Because they're solid. They're not pulsing like we had been seeing. But, fear not, the pulse comes back right away. So, you can even see it here. But that's what I would say to that. So, if you're having some funky stuff going on with your ringing in your ears and stuff like that, these spikes could be the reason for it. And plus migraines, sleeplessness, even, feeling mad or mean or feeling good or, just really happy. These things can, this stuff does do that. You see both ends of the spectrum here, okay? So, we'll move on to the next thing here. And guys, I'm telling you, man, what you're getting ready to see with these CMEs lighting up this object is crazy. Okay, guys, first off, what I will do here is I'm going to start you with the CME tracker, okay? So here's that CME I was showing you, and I'll show it to you again here in a minute. But I want you guys to look at this, the direction. All right. So what you're seeing is here's the Earth. So it's actually blowing off towards the backside. Now, why I'm showing you this is because I want you to see how big and wide this thing gets. It's basically about a quarter of the capture here. And it gets to be about a quarter of the capture right on, if you guys look at this, this is a top-down view of our inner solar system. Okay? So this circle here is the orbit of the Earth around the Sun. Okay? So by the time that CME reaches the orbit here, it's about this big. Okay? About a quarter of the capture, right? You can see that. So just imagine if this was let's say 5, 6, 7 days, week, whatever, later, and this thing decided to blow off like that. What would happen? If it was blowing this direction, just like this one is blowing this direction, it would hit us. So this is how close we come to dodging bullets here, guys. And that's why I'm showing you this particular one, okay? This is probably one of the largest in size that we've seen all year. It did do a halo effect, and I'll take you guys over there and show that to you and tell you what that actually means. It means nothing more than what it looks like visually. That's all that means, but I'll show it to you. But what you're seeing here, guys, if this was, like I said, a week later, and it decided to do this, man, I don't know what would happen. Could it be catastrophic? Don't think so, okay? I really don't. Would we see effects from it? Yes, I do. I think we would probably see big-time auroras. We could even see radio blackouts. We could see, electrical issues, all that kind of stuff. Not to mention that sometimes when these things are going on and they're hitting our planet, sometimes it increases the strength of hurricanes and stuff like that, guys. And that's been proven that space weather affects that kind of stuff, guys. There's a lot of channels out there that talk about that. And, I don't speak about that a whole lot. I do touch on it. But, man, there's a lot of good science behind that. A lot of good observation that's been happening in the past few years by a lot of good people. Scott, BP Earth Watch. He does a lot of that. Mr. MBB3. They're all on that. I'm telling you. So, I would encourage everybody to go watch all those guys. But anyway, as you can see here, guys, yeah, it's that's a pretty big one. So I'm going to take you over here and show you what we think caused this one. So, okay, guys, I got you at seeds. All right. Now, seeds is our view. Here's the Earth. There's the satellite, and it's looking at the sun. All right. So anything we see going to the left would be going to the left. Anything going to the right would be going to the right. Theoretically. We can't really tell specifically, and I've talked about that at length. But when I say a halo, this is what I mean. Okay, what you're going to see is a halo. You're going to see it kind of pop out here, and you'll see it expand, and it takes on the shape of a halo. Watch what it does, guys. Okay? Yeah. I can see it starting to happen when I first seen it. And that's why I went with you guys in the video yesterday. Here it comes. See it? And see how it just expands out like a halo. Let's pause that for a second. Maybe I'll bring that back a little bit. Let's bring that back, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Okay, let me, yeah, sorry. I'm going to bring it back quite a bit. Let's, but as you can see, guys, that definitely was a very powerful, or at the very least, large in size. So here you go, right? You got this area here. So, draw some eyeballs on that thing. What's that look like? Looks like a halo, doesn't it? That's why. That's why they call it that. All right? That simple. There's no science behind that, no scientific explanation on why they call it a halo. It's just simply what it looks like. So, so what's causing that? We're supposed to be in, not so much of a big uptick in activity, right? Now, see, I got that in reverse. And sometimes it's good to watch these in reverse, guys. You'll catch some stuff that you don't think that you're going to catch. So I would encourage you guys to run these things forward and backwards whenever you can. Because I catch a lot of stuff going in reverse here. And it's kind of neat to watch it. You can see the energy go back to the sun. But anytime you see that big white flash, please stop and look. Especially when you start seeing small jets that are coming out from behind that occulter. That's the black occulter. Now look, guys, see the halo kind of closing in? So we're going to go over to stereo A. Now remember, this view here is from our view. Satellite's there and it's looking at the sun. It's like as if we went outside and looked up. Something else before we get off of this screen. I want you guys to look at this. You see all those little sparkles and stuff just flying through there? We've been going through a daytime meteor shower also, just so everybody knows. That was one of the things that has been going on, you know. So there is some debris. We're going through some debris from some old comets and stuff that we do every year. You know, we go through a specific amount each year. This is not something that's not normal, okay? This is very normal to see this kind of stuff, just so everybody knows. Now, when we see a big CME or something like that, you'll see a big barrage of that. And what that is the camera can't handle the light. It's a bunch of charged particles coming at the camera, and it just really floods it out. And it makes it look, you know, well, basically kind of like this. Okay? But that would be on the red view. So that's what it would look like. So we're going to go check out stereo A. So as we check out stereo A, what I want you guys to look at, number one, is, you know, we don't have to put no filters or anything on this to show you guys our object. Something happened right there on the end there that I didn't see before. Yeah, that's a new capture. Wow, okay. They added some data back that there's a little bit of a glitch there that wasn't there before. Let's try to go back to it here. Yeah, they put some more data back in there than what they did a few hours ago. See that? Now that is a very typical, you know, glitch. It always takes that same shape. All those shapes right there, they're always there when this thing glitches out. Now, why did it glitch out? Well, because it probably got flooded with light, or it got hit with some sort of solar wind. That happens sometimes. So let's what I want you guys to see here is you're going to see multiple like balls of plasma coming off the sun. Okay, we'll start it from the beginning. Right there is the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we get a 5? Starting about a 5 right there. You see that? There's like 5 little balls of plasma shooting off the sun in like rapid succession. Okay? Now, first thing I want to point out is that the first 8 hours of this day, we're missing the time. We don't get to see anything for the first 8 hours. And that sucks because there was stuff going on. You know, this big halo CME was happening. Okay? But what we've seen inside of the CME is crazy. And Scott did a good job capturing it, so let me show it to you. Okay. This is stereo A. Now, look at this, guys. And again, Scott sent these to me. Now, most of these don't even have a filter on them. Some of them were adjusted this a little bit. But what's happening? We get a lot of questions. How can something move that fast? Right? Because I see a ball like over here and it moves off the screen in like just a few hours. We are no way saying that our object is moving that fast. Okay? What we're saying is that this object is here, right? You see, it's called, basically it's instigating the CME. That energy hits our object and lights it up. And then, as that energy leaves our object, it holds that shape a little bit because it just went over top of that shape. And it almost looks like it expands out and becomes bigger as it exits. Okay, that's what we notice. But you can clearly see, if you look at this, well, I'm going to leave it zoomed out because you can see it better. You see the dark? Right there it's a hard edge circle. That's a sphere. And you can see the energy itself, the lighter colors. Okay? I mean, it's hard to deny something like this, guys. And this isn't the only time we catch this thing. Scott's caught it so many freaking times now, it's amazing. And it's always in the right spot at the right time. And just like this one is. So, I mean, look at that. It's just hard for me to not be like, wow, look at that. What more can we say than just to show you what we're seeing? Because you can, like I said, you can clearly see that this thing is not, it's like the energy's hitting it and going around it. You can see it. I just don't understand. Now, this right here is a black and white. Obviously, it's it's another hard line. You can see that hard line really good here. Okay. Now, this is a reverse with a yellow filter, it looks like, of some sort. All right. And so what you're seeing here, what's dark is light and what's light is dark. Look at this dark. So that's basically light. And you can see it on the other side here too. And that just proves that it's hitting and going around. Okay? That's what that does. If there was nothing there, that darkness would not stop. It would continue out. That wouldn't be there at all, guys. It wouldn't be there. I just don't know what else to say about this anymore, guys. There's a lot of questions on why, how is it there, what's going on. We can talk about that, but to say that there's no way that that's possible is kind of, and to be able to, for months in a row, over a year, to tell you guys exactly, a 3 or 4 day window of when a CME and what side of the sun the CME is going to be on. And when it does happen, it lights up an object. We were saying that over and over and over again, and it was happening over and over again. It's hard to, I don't know how else to say it, other than just to show it to you, I guess. I'm not trying to convince somebody of something. I'm just trying to show you guys an observation. And this is what this is doing. When I see it with my own eyes and I see stuff like that right there, this is one of the most convincing captures I've ever seen of this object, just to be honest with you. You can clearly see that energy stop at that object and go around it. And this is, I think this is one of the first times we've actually caught it on the backside too. I'd have to ask Scott, but I'm pretty sure. If not the very first time. This is definitely the most in-your-face backside capture of this. So, kudos to him for that. That's for sure. Look at that. But, yeah. So, I think I am going to end the video here, guys. I am exhausted. I've had a little bit of tragedy going on in my life. My boss, well, actually, he's a good friend of mine before I even worked for him. 15 years a friend. His niece passed away, a car accident today. Well, yesterday, last evening. And, it was just bad news. And so any prayers would be great, and, positive thoughts and stuff sent our way. It'd be great. I'm sure he would appreciate it. His name is Chad, if anybody wants to, pray that way. It's just really tragic. His niece was only 23 years old. It was his sister's kid, and we know his sister also. We're friends with her also. Been on houseboat trips and stuff together on the lakes and things like that. And, her daughter was her life, and I couldn't imagine. I mean, I get choked up even talking about it. But, prayers would be great. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.